the Brown Boys, the Brown Boys, the Brown Boys, we the Brown Boys, the Brown Boys, we the Brown Boys. Hey, but listen, man, I gotta roll one up for my boy Dame Dash. Dame Dash is on a ranch that's about 20 something acres or something like that in Wyoming. And everybody was talking about how broke he was. He does owe, he admitted that he owes something like 20 million in taxes or something like that. But he doesn't seem like he's worried about not being able to pay it. Seems like he's going to work out a deal with the IRS. You've seen this a thousand of times where you see a man owe a bunch of money to the IRS. They figure out a way. Even Rick Ross, 50 Cent, they owed a bunch of money to the IRS. Figured out a way to make payment plans, pay them back, and then they thrive later. While us as black folks, we pick on them, we laugh, we say all this shit, but they still live good. So Dame Dash is a guy that always gets picked on and always get ridiculed, but you got to be able to read through the lines of the information that they putting out. If Dame Dash owes $20 million in taxes, then that means he's made some money somewhere. To be able to owe $20 million in taxes, somebody's making some money. So to pretend like Dame Dash is not making no money when you see that he owes 20 million in taxes, he's made some money somewhere. Now, who's managing it and who's paying it and what is he making it look like? You don't know whether he's working for his LLC or something and not taking a paycheck. So he could be saying, look, I can't afford this debt, so that he could, file for bankruptcy. But he's still going to be able to live the way he wants to live, because it looks like this man is living okay to me. So mid-interview, he gets a call that he's been arrested while he's talking, and I don't think I'm gonna play that clip though, but I'm gonna play this when he's just talking about the situation.
I call it like white people, really, and it's a juxtaposition because me being from like generations now of having a certain amount of money and doing and living a certain way, it's almost like when somebody white moves into a black neighborhood and everyone's like, oh, and that white person maybe will look at the environment and be like, it could be better based on people's mentality. I'm like a black man that has a ranch out here, and everyone out here is white. So everyone that works on the ranch, ultimately that works for me, is white. So I'm like the black guy in a white town, and I'm like, it's just a different perspective when you're looked at as how, it's like a juxtaposition to me. A lot of situations happen, like having to kill a rattlesnake. Like Rocky's cousin was out here and the kids were walking and he had to come out and hit the rattlesnake. It'd be big.
Kwame said he need that at least Nate Wade money.
There's out here, like we got a river. My son does go, and I have it documented. He caught his first fish with his uncle in his own river, and that was priceless to me. But again, for me, it's beautiful, but it's almost like white people Caribbean because it's cold and it's beautiful. But I like to be in warm places, and it's also hard to get out here. You got to take 2 planes. So when we first bought the ranch, we were coming from LA and we were taking private jets. We were working with Kanye. And then we were taking tour buses. But when we moved to Florida, we like, oh, you got to take 2 flights out here. You got to pay for 2 flights. So it became hard to have artists come out here, because also my intention was to work out here as well. So, again, I've got a good dose of it. We've been here for about 5 years. Like we skipped a year, but also like having a crib that you have when you have a lot different cribs, you have to pay as if you live in those cribs all year round. So it's like paying for 3, a bunch of cribs that you don't live in and that you don't get to use. So at some point, it doesn't become the best investment for the family office. And, we'll probably sell it and do another farm. That's what I want to do, is a farm now. That's what I'm going to do, a farm with the studio. But again, it's just a vertical of the family office. But it is beautiful out here, but it's dangerous. Like the cows, like bison, are like built like dinosaurs, bulls. And everyone out here is like a cowboy. So again, we got the ranch, and I'm wearing what I wear on a ranch. I wouldn't dress like this for fashion, but it did seem like after we started to be on the ranch that I saw country music from our culture and people starting like Louis Vuitton to start to, dress cowboy style. But I wouldn't dress like this unless I'm on my own ranch. And there's also different like style, like it's different protocol and etiquette. So like before when he pulled up, I was whacking the weeds. I had on the American cowboy hat. But now that we're doing an interview and I'm clean and all that, I got on a Stetson. But if I had on like a black hat in the winter, in the summer, it's wrong protocol. You're not supposed, it's like protocol of, so there's a whole protocol out here that people take pride in. So like, you know, me being, because I'm like up the block, I'm basically on Yellowstone. So me watching Yellowstone from Yellowstone and understanding all the protocol. And then if I see people out in the clubs in the wrong season, me just knowing the culture, I'd be like, damn, I wish they could understand like it's the wrong weather for that. Like they don't know that real cowboys be laughing at them. Pause. But you know, I like to live it for real. So you won't see me doing this as a fashion. This isn't like a fashion statement. I wear a cowboy hat when I'm on my ranch. But other than that, you ain't gonna see that. I'm not doing that for style or none of that. But if I'm gonna do it, it's gonna look good doing it.
Man, you can say what you want, but Dane Dash out there living it for real. This nigga got a pistol on his hip right there in the holster while he doing the interview. The man sitting out there like he on a Western in the old school time, like where you can get it how you live. 20-something acres of land, a house, animals. The man can do what he want out there. Probably got horses. He chilling. This is a guy that they just said to me that was in jail. He owe all his money. He's stressed out. He's a bum. Teeth falling out. But this man sitting here chilling.
When you out there away from everyone, just you and your family, what does that do to you mentally?
Yeah, like, you know, everyone is basically like a borough away. Silence and only hearing the river is priceless. You know, being able to focus on my family and only.
Damn, that nigga said, I only hear a river. See, that's why I say you can't tell a man what his success is. Some people might think having a bunch of hoes, working the hustle and bustle of a job every day, being on top, being on TV. Some people want to die like that. They think that's living. They think that's on top. Some people think this is living, the peace and quiet, being able to focus on family. This man say, all I hear is a lake. Shit, that's amazing. That sounds beautiful to me. Especially if you got a woman that you actually like and that actually like and love you back, and y'all can actually get along and make kids. That's living. What else do you need? You don't need, some women need a bunch of friends around because they're so used to a party. They're not used to them and their husband. It's so many people that want to marry their husband, their sorority, their friends, everybody marrying together because they're going to make their boyfriend just or their husband a tag along to all the shit they got going on. Man can't even think straight about what he wants to build because he has to be a plus one to everything that this woman got going on. This man got peace and quiet and he's living life according to what he wants. That's crazy. See, everybody like, why you ain't married? I'm not marrying you, your family, your sister, your doctor, lawyer, your friends. I'm not marrying a group. If I'm going to marry somebody, I'm marrying you. And we got to do it the right way. I got to leave my friends, my family, my mother. We supposed to go off and create our own life. And if I can't do that, then what's the point? Yeah, I don't want your mama around me. I don't want your sister everywhere I go. I don't like your sister. And that should be okay. But in this today's world, everybody got to like everybody.
Only my family is priceless, you know, and that to me is like the ultimate wealth is being able to control your environment, to be around people when you feel like being around people.
Man, I thought I was the only nigga in the world like that. I'm like, I just don't feel like being around people all the time. That's what be making me scared to get like married and shit. Cause now you got another person that could be different than you and they want people around all the time. I know some dudes that's what they complain to me about. Man, my wife got another mother coming over here. I got another wedding to go to. I'm tired of this shit. I'm the nigga that they vent to. You know, I'm a good listener. But they can't control their house the way they want it because it's always somebody else over there. And I don't got to deal with that shit. I love it. It's the best feeling in the world. It's the best feeling in the world. If I don't want to see somebody, I can sit in the house 2 days. I don't got to see nobody. I go out when I want to go out, come back. I strategically move sometimes. I'll be at the grocery store 7 a.m. There ain't nobody there but me and serious women that want to grab their stuff because they got to go to work early or they just getting off work from nursing. They got off at 7 a.m. So they just made it to the grocery store at 7:30 before they go down and go to sleep. And they got to cook at about 3 o'clock when they wake up before the kids get out of school. So yeah, I'll be in there with serious business people. I don't want to be in there with the riffraff. Sometimes I move when it's only serious people out. I can get my ass back in and don't have to worry about no problem. So Dame Dash, that's the type of shit I'm on. Being able to control my environment. Being able to not be around certain people that got certain energy that I don't need in my life. And sometimes I just don't want to be around people sometimes that's work a stressful 9 to 5. I don't want you to take your short answer, quick tempered attitude out on me. I don't want to hear the things that you wanted to say to your boss, and now you got an attitude with me because, I'm saying something. I don't want to deal with that. There are so many women who don't want to cook and eggs for cook an egg for us, and they don't want us to. They don't want to compromise. If Let me take the goddamn glass off. If I got to compromise, then she does too. I had a woman tell me that yesterday, but they want to be a wife. Laugh out loud. Well, the thing about that is a lot of women are like that, but if you control the environment that you in, you control whether you be around that woman a lot or not. And sometimes when you just go ahead and let her go off, it's gonna hurt because the only thing that us men struggle with is we don't want to see nobody else between her legs or behind her, which is gonna happen. But if she don't listen, then you're gonna have to let her go to the other nigga that's gonna get behind her for a little while. And then they're gonna realize the same issues that you had with her, they're gonna come up again. Because she never dealt with the issue. She just changed the person.
And me, I don't really in this moment in my life, and I think being age appropriate at 54, I don't really feel like being around anyone but my family and the people that I love. And that's all I work for is my family and the people that I love. And that's really all I care about. That's all I care about, how they feel about me. All I care about is their perspective and how they feel. And it doesn't matter what the rest of the world is ever saying, because this is my heaven. And the thing about heaven and hell is it could be contagious. So you could be in heaven and somebody could come around you that perspective wise looks at life as hell, and all of a sudden you in hell. And I don't want nobody to turn my heaven into hell based on their perspective on life. So I keep my heaven as heaven. You're not going to influence my environment.
Man, I thought I was retarded, man. That's the shit I be on, man. That's why I don't be wanting certain people around me. I'm not trying to control you. Hell, you go be with those friends and don't come back and tell me nothing that they said. I don't want to know nothing about the way they think. I don't even want to know what y'all talked about. I don't want to know shit. I don't even know why y'all friends. Just don't bring them around me. I done been around them enough. I think they crazy. Don't bring them around me at all. The things they think about, I don't think about. The things they talk about, I don't talk about. They don't like me. I don't like them. Don't bring them around me. Shit. And what he just said was key. It's some people that think they slice of whatever they heaven is heaven, and that you in hell. But if you think your shit is heaven, don't bring those people around that think you in hell, because they can turn your heaven into hell. Yeah, I'm not gonna let you turn my heaven into hell. That's like that movie Shallow Hal. When he thought that girl was beautiful, everything was going good. His whole life was straight when he thought that girl was beautiful. Everybody else saw her as an ugly mother. He saw her as a beauty queen. So shit, without everybody else intervening in what he had going on, telling him his ugly, this nigga was happy than a mother. So don't let nobody else intervene in your happiness, nigga. What somebody else think or say.
With your perspective. You understand what I'm saying? So I've been here with people and I'm in heaven. I'm like, yo, this is great. And they're basically in hell. They're miserable. And I'll be like, this is making me feel like I'm in your world and you're not in mine. So you have to change your perspective, or you got to go, because I'm in heaven right now. You understand what I'm saying? This is my version. So, like, to me, what people showcase and buy and spend their money on is usually their ego. And this is like my ego, being able to look at mountains and have rivers and have, generational wealth. A car is not my ego. Jewelry's not my ego. The way my family lives is my ego. You understand what I'm saying? So I can actually tell a person, like, when I see how they're spending money, and again, it's a juxtaposition because it's been like generations of having a certain kind of wealth. And I could tell what, like, phase of wealth they're in. Like, oh, they must have just got money. I could tell by what they're spending on, what their values are and how long they've had it. So for me, I could literally tell, to me, new money and old money, or people that are emulating new money, or people that are emulating generational wealth, which is all that counts to me. Because it doesn't matter how rich I am. If you look at my network, I'm always going to be broke. But if you look at how I see the value is how rich your family is. Is how rich is your family office? How rich? It's not how rich you are. It's how rich your family is. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not supposed to have no money. My family's supposed to have money. I'm the man. I believe in God. I look at God and what he sacrificed, even his kids, so the rest of the world could be all right. So me and this sacrifice for my family is nothing compared to what God has done. So if I see somebody that's proud of a chain, that's proud of a car, especially at a certain age, I'm like, they must not have caught that lick yet. I'm seeing people change.
So that's why I try to tell these niggas on the internet, bro, yo brag and what you bragging on, I don't want that shit. I don't even see it as you dissing me. You bragging about, I got a junkie that brag about chains and watches and shit. And I'm like, what the is that? What are you showing me? Some shit that you can get a couple $100 for at the pawn shop? $2,000-$3,000 for at a pawn shop, nigga? When they melt that shit down, that's what you showing me? That's your flex? So it's all about perspective. And if you know better, you do better. And that's why I can't be around certain people, because I think so much different. I'm 43, but I'm probably like 80. I'm like 80 in the mind because I don't think like a lot of these niggas. That's why so many people be waiting to see me fail. They be waiting to see a guy like Dame Dash fail because he talk a lot, because I talk a lot. And so when you talk a lot, people want to see you just go through some shit just because you talking. And I wasn't even talking before. But now that I'm talking, they're like, oh, yeah, nigga, I see why you this. I see why you ain't make it. I ain't make it. Nigga, you on drugs? The fuck you talking about? Are you on drugs, nigga? Motherfucker come having $500,000 conversation with me. Now, $500,000 might not be a lot of money to other people. But when you funding your own projects and you not taking no loans and you putting up your own money, a $500,000 conversation is a good conversation. $2 million, $1 million conversation is a great conversation. When you putting your own money up and you asking somebody else to put something up, like a lot of niggas just be talking. I see that. They be waiting on a headline to say something bad about you, and then they go with that. Yeah, nigga, look at what such and such said. Well, I turned down a job for such and such though. Yeah, but look what they said about you. I don't give a fuck what they said.
That I knew they had a certain amount of money and acted a certain way, and now that they have certain opportunities and what I call jobs, they've changed their whole perspective on how they move. And I'm like, oh, he must have just got, like, if I see somebody that's like, oh, I'm on vacation, and they're so proud to be on vacation, or they're so proud to have a car. I went through that phase in my life at 19, at 16. But seeing people go through that phase at 50, it bugs me out. And to see how they move culturally and how they'll sacrifice their culture for money, their integrity, how they'll show up every single day for a check to talk about people. It just wasn't how I envisioned my life. And that's not what you'll be seeing me doing. So if you notice, I do it when people were like attacking me verbally and trying to cause a narrative. I did a show and it made a lot of money for the company, but I just didn't feel like doing it anymore. I'm not talking for money unless I feel like it. I went on a little tangent there, but I do that.
Nah, it's all good. Speak your mind, man. But speaking of that, right? Money and generational wealth, the news that broke that you was in debt by 800K and you had to give up your assets. Can you speak on that? Like, is that true or no?
Well, I think what people are not understanding is, again, I run my family office. I don't own it. My family owns it. And since 2015,
See what Dame Dash is speaking, a lot of people are not going to understand. Dame Dash is doing the whole. Dame Dash been listening to a lot of white folk. Dame Dash is doing the Rockefeller approach. Dame Dash is controlling everything without ownership. So it's hard to sue a man like that. It's hard to gauge what his real money is because he doesn't own anything. So it looks like he doesn't have anything, but he controls everything. So you can report that Dame Dash is broke every day, all day. And legally, you'll probably be right because he seems to not work for money. But if you say his businesses don't have money, and I'm assuming one of his businesses, his family office, and if you probably look up what his family office is worth, it's probably worth a nice, pretty penny. But you can't get people that have been trained to go to work, trained to have an identity based on a degree and a job and all these things that their mama told them and their daddy told them, and generationally we've been taught to just work. So Dame Dash comes along and he's talking something that people don't necessarily understand. But the way he's talking is how you gain generational wealth. It is going to be very hard and next to impossible to build generational wealth just from a job. You have to have ownership. Even you'll never build generational wealth with just a job. I'm going to go out on a limb to say it. You have to have ownership in something. You have to build something. You have to have a company. And Dame Dash, I don't know the whole tax situation, but there's people that do this same thing that Dame Dash is doing without the tax headlines. And so maybe he need to brush up on it or whatever. I don't know his business, but it doesn't seem to look like he's broke like people are saying to me.